Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling misunderstood, frustrated, or even invisible? You said what you meant, but somehow, the connection never clicked. Why do so many of our attempts to communicate end in confusion rather than clarity? We've all been there. You're trying to make a point, share a feeling, or simply be heard, but the person across from you seems to be in a different world. They're defensive, distracted, or just not getting it. And no matter how clearly you speak, the gap between you only seems to widen. This isn't just a minor annoyance, it's a fundamental human struggle. We're social beings, wired for connection, yet we often fail at the very thing that should come most naturally: talking with one another. But what if there was a way to not only avoid these breakdowns, but to turn every conversation into an opportunity for genuine understanding, trust, and even transformation? That's exactly what Pulitzer Prize-winning author Charles Duhigg explores in his remarkable book, Supercommunicators. In it, he uncovers the science and art behind why some people excel at communication, while others consistently stumble. And today, we're going to distill his key insights through the lens of Stoic wisdom, because, as you'll see, the art of conversation isn't just about technique. It's about virtue. Duhigg's first key idea is that all conversations fall into one of three types. The first is practical decision-making, like deciding where to eat or how to solve a problem at work. The second is emotional sharing, where we talk about how we feel, our fears, our joys. And the third is about identity and belonging, conversations where we explore who we are, what we value, and where we fit in. Most communication fails because we don't recognize which type of conversation we're actually in. You might be trying to make a practical decision, while the other person is seeking emotional validation. Or you're talking about values while they just want to solve a problem. The Stoics would see this as a failure of wisdom, of seeing things as they truly are. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." But listening isn't just about hearing words, it's about discerning the nature of the exchange. Are we in a practical, emotional, or identity conversation? Until we know, we're speaking into the void. This leads us to Duhigg's second key idea, the matching principle. Effective communication isn't about imposing your style or agenda onto the other person. It's about aligning with their conversational mindset. If they're in an emotional space, you match that. If it's a practical discussion, you stay practical. You don't try to force a square peg into a round hole. You find the hole they're already in and meet them there. This is where Stoic virtue truly comes alive. Matching requires temperance, restraining your impulse to steer the conversation your way. It demands justice, giving the other person what they need, not what you want to give. And it calls for courage, the willingness to step into their world, especially when it's uncomfortable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You always own the option of having no opinion." There is never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul. In conversation, that means releasing your agenda and attending fully to the other. The third key idea is what Duhigg calls learning conversations. These are dialogues where we actively identify the type of conversation, share our goals, ask about the other person's feelings, and explore issues of identity. It's not just talking, it's co-creating understanding. And this is where Stoicism elevates communication from a skill to a moral practice. A learning conversation is an exercise in arete excellence of character. It requires wisdom to perceive clearly, courage to be vulnerable, justice to honor the other's experience, and temperance to listen more than you speak. When we engage this way, we're not just exchanging information, we're practicing virtue together. So how do we put this into practice? Here's your sage's challenge. For the next 7 days, I want you to treat every important conversation as a Stoic exercise in arete. Before you speak, pause, ask yourself, what type of conversation is this? Practical, emotional, or about identity? Then match your energy and focus to that type. Practice deep listening, not to reply but to understand. And if you feel the urge to control or redirect, remember the virtue of temperance. Your goal isn't to win or impress, it's to connect with wisdom and integrity. In the end, Supercommunicators isn't just a book about talking better. It's about seeing conversation as a sacred space where we either build up or tear down our shared humanity. And when we infuse it with Stoic virtue, when we approach each exchange with wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, we don't just become better communicators, we become better human beings. If this summary helped you see conversation in a new light, subscribe to the Sage's Summary for more wisdom every week. Like this video to help these insights reach others who need them. And in the comments, tell me about one conversation where you wish you'd applied these principles. What did you learn from it? I read every one. Stay wise and stay strong.